Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you live from the International Diamond Center studios, where all jewelry purchases in June are 0% APR until 2030. The only giant diamond and jewelry partner of the Florida Gators. You missed it last night. The Florida Panthers take a 2-1 lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Murray State Racers are going to the College World Series. They defeat Duke, and what a tremendous story that is. That cranks up on Friday. NBA Finals, not tonight. They take too many days off. They're going to play on Wednesday. Let's go to the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp, and we're with the host of the Buddy Martin Show, the one and the only, Buddy Martin. Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Good morning, Shane. I'm doing great. It was a fun day yesterday around here, and of course, you were on the show last night. But the Cinderella story. Now we get Cinderella stories in baseball. It's going to be a really good one this year. I got the lineups, by the way. I went and got the games, so following them is going to be tough. And Shane, it's U.S. Open week. We always like that.
You're dang right. Shooter McGavin on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, comes in here early on the program. QB, what was your opinion on the interference call that was overturned to end the game? I guess, is he talking about the Murray State game? I missed that. I saw like I was flipping around. I was watching hockey, went back, and I saw a ground ball to like the second baseman throws it out, and then they win the game. So I missed all of that.
I'm lucky to score that game.
Here's the great story if people aren't aware of Murray State. Okay. Murray State, their baseball stadium seats about 700 people. It's like a high school stadium. Their coach cuts the grass.
Oh, that's great. And then
yeah, and the players have to take care of the field. It's like high school. And they're going to the College World Series. Yeah, it's crazy.
You cut your own grass?
What's that?
You cut your own grass?
I did when I downsized a few years ago, buddy. But yeah, I used to love cutting the grass. I had a zero-turn John Deere radius, zero-turn radius.
That's not cutting the grass, the old push mowers.
Oh, not well. I did that for a little while, and
okay.
When I moved to a bigger house with a bigger yard, it was on 3 acres. I was like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that's hard.
I got a John Deere, and I absolutely loved cutting the grass. I'd put my music on, and I'd go. Now, when it got time, when I was done, I had to go do the weed eating and the edging.
Yeah.
Not so much. That was miserable.
I wasn't on that. I didn't cut my grass that much, but I did do it for years at home.
I downsized, and I'm done with that. Hadn't cut my grass in 12, 15 years.
Well, you're a star now, Shane. You don't cut your own.
Well, no, I would still cut my grass if I lived at a bigger place, because I
paid somebody $500 a month to do it, right? So that's
well. Here's what I will tell you, buddy. When I was helping coach high school football, and I was just a volunteer at GHS and at Buchholz, you know what I volunteered to do, which was pretty damn dumb, but I thought it was fun. I painted the field.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You get that from your daddy, right?
I guess. Nowadays, they got these little robot things that will paint the field for you.
I know.
Yeah, I used to put my music on and paint the field. So
good for you, Shane.
Today's program will also have Brady Ackerman, the former Gator,
who
roamed the sidelines
on the radio. Yeah,
he is now quarterback coach at Belhaven University in Jackson, Mississippi. He's gotten back into coaching, but we'll just catch up with Brady, and he's always got great stories. People forget he coached with Leach, Hal Mummy, Muschamp, and Kirby Smart on that staff at Valdosta State.
I've known Brady a long time, and up and down his coaching career. Lost track of him a couple of years ago. And the last time I knew he was coaching in Bellevue, and then he disappeared. So that's all I know. But hey, please, just give him my best. We did many, many radio shows Good for Brady. I
Yeah.
hope he's doing well.
Clint says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, buddy, do you believe Billy gave Mark wrong info on DJ's shoulder to make him look bad when he said, I'll be here way after Billy, when DJ actually had to have hernia surgery?
No, I don't believe that.
Now, I will tell you this.
You know better than that.
Well, first of all, Billy wouldn't do that. Second of all, whether people like Mark Long or not, he gets scoop, okay? And
Yeah.
everything he said was facts. I
Yes.
know that.
And by the way, I will say more than this. It came from the highest source. His information came from the highest source.
Yeah. Look, DJ's got a shoulder problem. That's a fact.
Yeah.
He also had a hernia surgery. He'll be ready to go. He'll be ready to go.
He looks right good right now in video. I'll tell you that. Boy, oh boy.
Don't forget, folks, on Wednesday, June 11th, that's tomorrow from 4 to 7, Gainesville's premier tequila, Los Landeros Tequila, will be showcased at the Good Pour on Southwest 34th Street. Tasting event offers a unique chance to taste Los Landeros Tequila, owned by University of Florida alumni and a championship coach. Come indulge in its rich flavors and taste the difference.
I mentioned Urban Meyer's name.
Did you?
Did you mention his name there?
No, I do on another read, but that one I was told it's not in there. I just do what I'm
Oh,
told to do,
I
buddy.
just want to make sure I had the right one. I think
Yeah, that's Urban's tequila.
because I consume it every day by the gallon.
You do?
No.
You just pound it.
If I did, I would. That would be his. I should guarantee you that.
Tell Urban you need some of his Los Landeros tequila and tell him to ship it there to Panama
No,
City.
Freddie wouldn't like that. But no, for sure. Hey, listen. I saw such a great game last night, and not to shift or take over the show. We're obviously talking about Murray State. What a great story that is, and I'm with you. They're now on my top of my list. As it's great to have a Cinderella in June in baseball, isn't it? And now we got a couple. If you want to count Coastal Carolina, I don't count them as a Cinderella. They're champions. But boy, this game I saw last night, and I'll get to it in a minute. Wonderful game last night by the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, the Tampa Bay Rays. Among other things, your friend and a friend of your family's had a huge night and 4 hits for your boy, Jake Mangrum. So talk about your relationship with them. And then I want to talk about the incredible performance by a rookie pitcher making his first appearance who grew up an hour away from Fenway.
Well, I've told the story. Jake Mangum, his dad and I played together in Chicago. He's from Mississippi, McGee, Mississippi. He went to Alabama, was a defensive back there. And then I played with him about 4 or 5 years in Chicago. Then I played with his brother in Carolina, who's a tight end who played at Alabama on one of the national championship teams, then ended his career at Ole Miss. So Jake and my daughter are the same age. So when we were in Chicago, the Mangums and the Matthews would switch the kids on date nights or whatever and babysit each other. So, and then my daughter ends up going to Mississippi State, and Jake was there playing baseball at the time. So, very good baseball player. He's the all-time hit king in the SEC.
Yeah, he's obviously he went a huge night, 4 hits last night, and a big win. Because last night that rookie made his debut for the Red Sox, the number one prospect in all of baseball. Anthony made his debut last night. The first time started against the Rays in Boston. And what the hero was a kid that grew up an hour away. I love this story a lot. I know people say, oh, no, not baseball, not the Rays. But hey, I mean, this is a wonderful story. It's so inspired, even inspired Woody Page to write about last night, and talking about how good these Rays are versus how bad the Colorado Rockies are. Horrible. But they beat the Red Sox 10-8 in 11 innings, and Roman Anthony's debut was spoiled by a young man named Ian Seymour. It was his first major league appearance. He grew up in Westboro, 30 miles from the historic home run of the Red Sox in Fenway. He's seen the postseason field over there. He's played in the American League wild card game. Or they did. He didn't. Anyway, he'd never been on the mound until the 10th inning of Monday night's series opener against the Red Sox. They ran out of players. They didn't have anybody left. They put him out there and he shut him down, even when their closer got knocked out of the box. So a big game and a wonderful story. Great to see these young people showing up like this.
Yeah. Speaking of the College World Series, it is all set now, all 8 teams. Technically, buddy, you know who has the most teams in the College World Series? What conference?
The conference, well, it's probably the Big 12. I don't know. Uh,
No, I mean, like officially, the SEC has the most at 2. But if you go back, the Pac-12 actually has 3. The old Pac-12, Oregon State, UCLA,
yeah,
and Arizona.
yeah, yeah.
So very interesting.
Yeah, I got the
The,
lineup for you, Shane, if you want to hear it. I just got
yeah,
it.
it's unfortunate LSU and Arkansas have to play each other.
Yes, that is. They knocked them out of it. So it'll only be one SEC team, but Coastal
No, no, it's double elimination.
knock them not out of it, but knock them to the losers bracket. Um, Coastal plays Arizona. It's Friday afternoon at 2. Oregon State plays Louisville at 7 p.m. Friday. Saturday's game, Murray State plays UCLA. That's the one we'll be watching at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Then, as you pointed out, Arkansas versus LSU on Saturday night. By the way, I went to Grok, your favorite new AI. I know you love it.
I just learned about him. Or
I
that
know
name.
last night we talked about it. You want to know if I could do your show for you?
Yeah.
Well, I asked them who would win the World Series. They gave me a cop out, gave me a long list of people. I said, never mind this. So anyway, so yeah, it's on, and I don't know what the interest is around the show in terms of the College World Series, but you got the 8, and I'm enjoying baseball this time of year, but I'm ready for some football, Shane. I'm
Yeah.
ready for some football. We got a great season. And here's the thing last night I talked to you about. Unbelievable. You say, how do the Gators rank? How good they going to be? How many games do they win? And you see last night's SEC forecasts by ESPN. The Florida Gators are picked 11th in the conference. 11th.
Yeah, that's got you all fired up, doesn't it, buddy?
But I mean, I think they'd be better than 11th in the country if they win. If they win and to get the schedule they got, especially with that what I call the scorched earth Saturday with those 4 games they got during the after the openers. They ought to be 2-0. Then they got trouble coming up after that. We talked about it last time.
Yeah, be a tough stretch there, but everybody's got that tough stretch throughout the country. Speaking of football, Josh in Mississippi says on the Titan and Mar text line, Billy is cooking with grease now in recruiting. Let's go. Yeah, they picked up a bunch of
Yeah.
recruits over the last couple of days over the weekend. I don't know if they have. Well, we'll talk with Blake Alderman tomorrow. He's going to be on the program. He can give us all the updates on what's going on there. Again, I don't like to get really
Let me
excited
help
about
you
it
out,
because
Shane. Let me
it's
help
all
Blake.
verbal commitments. Nothing is set in stone.
Right. Let me give you a couple that I know of. Got their 5th commitment 2026 Sunday. They got Chancellor Campbell from St. Pete, the huge kid, 6'8", 306. Committed to Florida over Georgia, Miami, Ohio State, Penn State after his visit. They're knocking it out of the park right now in the recruiting. They're really doing well. Apparently, now I don't know this. This is what my friends tell me. Blake will tell us.
Yep, for sure. Hmm. Um, all right. Titan and Mar text line from Bill. Bill says, Shane, I know you said yesterday you're pulling for Coastal Carolina. I'm not. I do not like their coach and the way they handled the situation when the Gators were there. Well, I don't know their coach. I don't know that whole situation has nothing to do with me thinking Coastal Carolina is a good baseball team. Um, I think it's a great story, personally. What do you think, buddy?
Well, 2 things are possible. It could be a great story, and the coach could be a jerk, and he was. Sully had brought it on himself. We've talked about it. Unfortunately, he just lost his cool. And who wouldn't after the beating he took this year, starting out, 1-11 and losing half his team and struggling and fighting, and they moved the game time on him, which they can do legally, threw his whole rhythm out, and he just lost his cool. And somebody had a phone nearby and heard him dropping the F bombs. And then the coach comes out and criticizes Sully in his press conference. Shane, that's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, but we don't, like I said, sometimes people lose their cool. They may make a mistake or whatever, but he's got a very good baseball team, regardless of what you want to
I
say.
don't deny that.
And they can pitch the baseball. So
But you don't have
uh,
to root for him.
I think either Coastal or Arkansas is going to win the national title.
We're going
Tony,
for Murray State. We're picking Murray State all the way.
it'd be fun too. Tony says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum. Shane, how did you and Kirkpatrick have such great chemistry in 1990? That's a great question.
Yes.
Uh, it could be, Tony, before Coach Spurrier got here, all I would be, well, I mean, when Coach Spurrier got there, all they would do would send me down to the tight ends, like during spring and everything. And it was John Reeves was the tight end coach. So I threw the tight ends probably more than any other quarterback until I actually got an opportunity to start participating in practice. And maybe that's the reason. But Kirk was a heck of a player.
But
He had one crucial drop in his career at Tennessee in 1990.
yes,
Last drive, right before half, we're down 7-0. He dropped a corner route for a touchdown. It'd been 7-7 at half. We kick a field goal. I don't know if it would have mattered anyway because they ran the opening kickoff back and then all hell broke loose and
well,
we got clobbered.
sure-handed guy. He was a terrific
Yeah,
receiving tight end, as good as ever been there.
yeah.
Special player
Very
for
good. Very good. Shooter McGavin says, QB and Buddy, what would you like to see our points per game be this year?
What was
I honestly, Shooter, they're going to have a goal. Everybody has a goal for points, yards per game, all that kind of stuff. You don't always reach them.
what is it? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know what theirs is going to be. I have no idea. I mean, it's the team comes up with it usually, or maybe the coaches do.
I'd like to see 30, but I don't know if they can
I
get
would
that.
say 30, but you can still win a game by scoring 20 points.
Yeah.
The bottom line is this win games, right? Win games.
Yes. Shane, do you remember the LSU game?
Which one?
One they won last year.
Oh, honestly, I don't.
I saw the replay over the weekend. They had 7 sacks. And
Yeah.
I think he'd only been sacked 6 times all year. And they had 7 sacks in that game. The defense played really well in that game. And, DJ didn't have to win that game. He just kept from losing it. And I mentioned last night, the great run at the end of the game, which the running back outsprinted the LSU player, is what salted the game away. But the defense was the star of that game.
Yeah, they got after him. There's no question about that. They're going to need to get after him again this year because I think LSU is going to be very good on offense. Text on the Titan MR text line. This is for you, buddy. Do you think the Rays will actually move to Orlando?
Probably a good move for them, although that little bandbox Steinbrenner field, it turns out to be a charming little place. Uh, I would like them not to be. I would like them to stay in Tampa, but I think it probably makes more sense if they did move to Orlando because they got a bigger base and such a good story right now. Lowest payroll in baseball, beating all these big teams. I love watching them. It's fun. I hope they don't, but yeah, I think they probably will.
Another text here on the Titan MR text line from George. He says, buddy, I'd like to get your thoughts on this new bill that was passed where each school will have $20.5 million, I believe it is, to pay athletes. Do you like it? And how much would you be paying per sport if you were in charge?
Well, we talked about it on the show last night, Shane. It's very confusing right now. And I said to you, I'm tired of policy wonks. I'm tired of talking about policies, about salary caps. I want to talk about what's on the field. And I took a vow last night in the next year to focus primarily on the action, the results, what the players show on the field. And I get it. It's all part of recruiting now. Yes, I know a little bit about it, not much. I have no idea how it's going to work out. I think 80% of it's going to have to go for football and probably 12 or 13% for basketball. The rest gets the rest. But if you look at the projections, Sully's baseball scholarships will more than double. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I just have to wait and see. I wish it never happened, but it did. Now the money is now you better go get your players. And that's the next level of recruiting.
Very true. Florida Cracker is the brand for original Floridians, great food and southern hospitality in the center of the University of Brooksville, Florida, floridacracker.com. Chad wants to know on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel and Law, is the basketball roster final, or are we going to bring in one more player? I think we have a spot for one more player, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember. I talked to Kevin and friends about it last night, and I have a lot of questions from my friends about the backcourt. Couldn't he couldn't my friend from Colorado who didn't know much about it can't believe the whole front court's coming back. I mean, just that alone. And the players they've got now, the guards they got, they're going to be top five team, in my opinion. We'll see, but they'll never top the story of this year. What a wonderful story this year. And Walter Clayton, Shane, he deserves to have his own plaque there
I
on
agree.
the center, you know?
Yeah, best basketball player I've seen here.
Yeah, you called it a long time ago. You said that.
Ted says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. Ted, do you think we have enough QB depth if DJ gets injured? Yes. Well, I
No,
mean, I don't know if anybody in the country can say they feel comfortable with their
right.
depth at the quarterback position because it's hard to keep more than one. But we got Harrison Bailey, who's played at Tennessee, Houston, and Louisville. I like the way he throws the football. And then you got the true freshman Tremel Jones. So yeah, we'll be fine there. And you got
I've heard
Aiden Warner
pretty
who
good
played a little
things
bit
about
last year, but
Tremel.
I don't see him in the mix.
I'm sorry. I've heard pretty good things about Tremel Jones. I've not seen him. Have you?
No,
Okay.
no, I won't. No, I won't. I'll go out to a few practices when they start in August or late July, whenever it cranks up, and we'll see what happens there. But
I think Bubba Spurrier is one of his coaches. I think he's helping
Bubba
Ryan.
is helping with the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, he sure is. Nowadays, they got so many damn coaches. Actually, they've always had a bunch of analysts, but if you were an analyst in the past, you had to just stand on the sidelines with the regular common folks. Now everybody can coach, and
Yeah,
maybe three coaches.
exactly. It takes the horse thing is hiring athletic, they're hiring what they call general managers everywhere. Apparently, Louisville stole one of the key guys from Kentucky last night and made him their general manager. And they say, I don't know, that it's going to really hurt the Wildcats a lot. They lose this guy, so I don't know.
Here's a text for you, buddy, on the Titan and More text line from Joshua. He says, "Buddy, what did you think of the comments Terry Bradshaw had when the Steelers signed Aaron Rodgers?"
I didn't see him, but I talked to Terry over the weekend on text talking about horse racing in the Belmont. I did not see the comments. What did he say? I don't know.
Well, I didn't see it either. I'm just reading the text.
Yeah, I don't. As I say, I texted Terry over the weekend, but that the subject didn't come up. But hey, they love to criticize Bradshaw. Here's what I love about some of these guys who write stories. They took a 3 or 4 comments that critical about Bradshaw's horse racing knowledge. He was on the program not as a guest, but he was one of the people on the show broadcasting the Belmont, and they blasted him for his comments saying he had no knowledge. The guy's been in the horse business for 40 something years and owns millions of dollars of horses. Granted, they're not thoroughbreds or quarter horses. But just because they didn't like the guy's comment and somebody wrote about it on Twitter, they wrote a whole story about it. Come on, man. Give me a break.
This text here for you, buddy, on the Titan MR text line from John. John says, "Buddy, I'm surprised you have not become a Kansas City Royal fan with Cags there now."
Well, I would be if I get him on TV.
I think they play on TV tonight against the Yankees.
I'll watch him probably. By the way, Bobby the Witt kid is a great player too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, they're good. They really are good. They use some pitching. I would love Cags. I'd love to see him, and if I could see him, I barely get the Rays games. But but yeah, no, I'm definitely I'm following Kansas City, and I think they got a good team, and they got some. They might be there at the end. We'll see.
Well, they're playing tonight according to this
Yeah.
thing you have, this scoring app. They're on TV, but they're on
Yeah,
the
but they're
Yankees.
probably on the Major League Baseball channel. I don't get
Well,
that.
if you just pay a little bit extra and get the MLB network.
I can't afford all these networks. Got a 50 of them now, as it is.
Yeah. Well, Cags is 7 for 7 his last two
I know
games.
he had an amazing day. And by the way, your guy did get 4 hits. for the Rays last night. Big. Jake did. So he's playing great. Yeah. So Shane, I'm surprised you haven't talked about the Open more now. We're in the week of it, and I know you do your picks a different time, but this is an epic Open because it's at a place that's special. It's been special for many years. Oakmont. I've covered two of their Opens at Oakmont. As I said last night, Arnold Palmer, the only player ever to play in all five of them. There, of course, he's obviously dead now. But I'm excited about this weekend because you got the best of the best, a guy who has dominated golf. But you got a couple of guys picking around the corner and a couple of guys faltering. I think McIlroy, his divorce may screw him up. I don't know. We'll
No,
see.
it's when they took his driver away. He is
That,
not,
that too.
ever since they took his driver away, he can't even hit it anywhere close to a fairway. So it's interesting. All right, Tony let us know here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, what Bradshaw said.
Okay.
He said, "This is just a joke. What are we going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there."
Hey, listen, he tells it like it is. He always has. Like it or not, I kind of tired of Aaron Rodgers myself. I don't care where he goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Um, do you see where AR is hurt again, buddy?
I did, and you called it. I gave you credit for it on my show.
Well, I mean, I don't want anybody to be hurt, but he's been
No,
hurt
but you've
since
been
high
saying
school.
it since Florida first picked him up. You told me numerous times we were all drooling over Anthony being the next whoever, the quarterback. And you said, well, I'm not a fan necessarily. And I said, why? He said he's injury prone. And you're exactly right.
Yeah, it's a shame. So we'll see. Maybe he'll just sit out these next few mini
I think
camps and
I
come back
don't think
ready to
I
roll.
don't think he'll ever play.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right, buddy, who you got on the program tonight?
Well, it's Lauren Meadows' night. He's back from Paris.
Oh,
We're going
wow.
to get into business season. He's back from Paris. He and Mr. Brown and Mr. Martin will be on tonight. They'll be doing the show and have a good show for you at 9 o'clock Eastern. And by the way, I know you don't want to make your picks now, but I like Scheffler, and I'm going to go ahead and pick Bryson DeChambeau, although you say he can't hit it straight.
He can't.
I think the other thing is that McElroy and Rahm will be in there somewhere. We'll see. But the guy that I really like, who I think will finish the challenge if he can putt, is Oberg. This kid's got a,
Ludwig.
well, it's his first name is Ludwig, and
Yeah,
it's spelled A, but
yeah.
it's pronounced Oberg. And the guy's got a sweet swing, man. He really does.
He's probably got my favorite swing, and his
Oh
pace
man,
of play is outstanding.
he is. I would like to see him win it, but I think Scotty will. And I'm not a fan of Ron because he jumped LIV, but we'll see. So I'm pulling for Bryson.
Bryson's in LIV.
I know, but he Rom sort of did it as a turncoat, you know, basically. And DeChambeau put his intentions out there early, didn't make any lane, whatever. I just don't. I've never been a fan of Rom, and that gave me a reason not to like him.
There you go. Well, we like you, buddy, and we appreciate you joining the
I
program.
like you too, Shane. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, buddy, go out there and swim some laps in the bay there.
Okay, it's beautiful this morning, by the way.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Buddy Martin joining us on the Titan and More Highline courtesy of Comfort Temp. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Brady Ackerman, former Gator, who used to roam the sidelines on the Gator Radio Network as well. Get his thoughts on this coming season and what he's up to now. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Cogent Bank, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
I'm tired of you living in pain, and I want you to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees, back, shoulders, and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Stop putting it off. Call now and schedule your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now in Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Coach, you know it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave, Los Landeros tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean head beer coach, 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Landeros tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Landeros tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Landeros.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. The Pouncey Twins provide all of Gator Nation with the highest quality liqueurs made by J.F. Hayden Craft Liqueurs. Find your favorite flavors at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Back to the Titan MR Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We are joined by former Gator, player, sideline reporter. He did a little bit of everything. Brady Ackerman. What's up, Coach Ackerman? How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. I also was the MC for the Steve Spurrier Scramble one year there at University.
There you go.
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of stuff on the resume, but I'm doing well, back in coaching, excited about it, and just good to visit with you.
Yeah, let's touch on what you're doing right now. You're back at Belhaven University. I think it's university, or it used to be college back when I was growing up. I think they're a university now.
Yep.
But you're going to be coaching the quarterbacks there. Just tell us how that all transpired.
Well, the Belhaven University Division III school in Jackson, Mississippi. It obviously has been around for over 100 years. It actually started it's a Christian university, a Presbyterian college. So you get a lot of really good spiritual beliefs and so forth as far as the student body and the population goes. But, I had talked to this head coach once before when he first took the job about the OC job. Hal had called for me, and he had a guy in mind already. Well, that guy ended up, leaving, the quarterback coach. And so I took his position. It just kind of happened kind of quick in February. Again, I was going to coach at Legacy Christian High School in Frisco, Texas. So I knew I was going to coach somewhere this year, but the opportunity to come here and, as you know, Kyle Morris's son is the senior quarterback here, and we should have a really good team. We won the league 2 years ago, first time ever in the Division III playoffs. And then last year in his first season, we went 500 with a lot of new kids. So we're going to try to win the league this year, get in the playoffs, Coach. Football's football. It doesn't matter what level. I'll tell you this. I was a GA at Division I. I've coached at FCS, Division II, high school, now Division III. The only thing I haven't coached is NAIA. I've been everywhere.
You're still young. You can do it all.
I'm going to try. I'm going to keep going. But I'm excited, and it's a great opportunity to be able to coach quarterbacks at this stage of my career. Shane, as you know, that's probably my best path, and so we're excited about it.
Andy's got a question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melda Law. He says, Brady, how successful was your Belhaven prospect camp, and how do these camps enhance your recruiting efforts?
Well, I'll tell you this, we had our first camp in June and it was very successful, which we didn't expect a big turnout. We were going to try to have it on a Saturday night before they had one of those mega camps over at JSU where they had 800 kids, but we had to move it because we had FCA camp here on Saturday. So we have 2 more in July. And for us, it's pretty simple, Shane, because we're mostly looking for kids with academics so we can get their school covered via academics. And so, with our camps, we know that if we can get them on a camp, if we can get them on an unofficial to a game and then official visit, then we got a great chance to get them. In this one, I'm learning in Division III because I've recruited everywhere, Shane. You got to play the long game because everybody's waiting for the scholarship offer and waiting for that opportunity. But we feel like we get them on campus, we have a great chance to rope them in. So I'm learning that aspect. I'm used to going out offering everybody. We don't do it that way here, so it's a little different. But it's been a lot of fun, and look forward to July camps.
All right, let's go back to your playing days. John says here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I want you to chime in on this. He says, didn't Spurrier put Brady in the game in a blowout and he scored a touchdown?
Absolutely. And I don't know if it was a blowout. I mean, the touchdown I scored against Akron in 90 actually covered the spread. So many people in Vegas were excited about that. I know JC probably had money on it when he was hosting at TV 20 there that day. So he had the minus 56. I put us over 59-0, but it was a wheel route from Brian Fox. Had an outside slant, and I ran the wheel route, made a beautiful catch, Shane. Contested catch in the corner of the end zone for a 13-yard touchdown. And, it was exciting. The best part about that was the next day, they have the old coaches shows. I don't even know if they have them anymore, but Coach Spurrier was on there with Mick the next day, and they showed the touchdown. I walk on out of Jacksonville, catch the touchdown. And then they showed this lady who's like in her mid-30s celebrating in the second row of the stadium, and Coach goes, yeah, I think that might be Brady's girlfriend right there. And at the time, I'm like, I'm 20 years old. I don't date some 30-year-old woman. But it was pretty funny. So
yeah, there's nothing like Coach. A lot of people may not know this. You obviously, you've coached a lot, but you also coached at Valdosta State with Hal Mummy, Mike Leach, Kirby Smart, and Will Muschamp. Just talk about how that was, and if you got any good Mike Leach stories.
Well, and Chris Hatcher is the head coach at Sanford.
That's right.
Quarterback.
That's right.
But and Kirby actually came after us. But the Leach, Mike Leach was obviously a good friend even after we coached there. And when he passed, that was tough. And Leach was a guy that actually when they played Arkansas about a month before he passed, we went to the game and stood on the sidelines and everything. And Leach was a guy that always walked to his own schedule. And so I came from Florida where, I was at that GA for 1 year in 93. So that fall, and then I went there. So everything had to be on time. You got to be on time. So we have a staff meeting at 9, and Leach, he would ride his bike to work every day because he wanted to save his car stipend. Okay. So they got a stipend because he was the offense coordinator. So he ride his bike, and it's pouring. And it's like 8:45, and I just know he's going to call. I go, he's going to call. I felt like Ferris Bueller. He's going to call. And 8:50, hey, can you come get me? Oh, all right. And I'd sprinted over there to get him and everything, and we'd be late for the meeting, but Coach never really mattered. It never really bothered him that much, but Hal, because Leach just kind of that's who he was. But he was a great guy, and there's a lot of different things. There's the story where Leach, he would always call, he used to play my golf tournament we had there in Ocala. He came in a couple of times. Well, he didn't play. He'd walk with the group. But he would, the phone rang after midnight. You better be prepared to stay on the phone for a while. And one time he had Matthew McConaughey, after they had beaten Texas. Remember when Crabtree made the catch to beat Texas? And McConaughey had a trailer, like an RV or something there. So he stayed on his RV till like 4 a.m, was calling everybody to say he was on Matthew McConaughey's RV. And Matthew McConaughey couldn't get him out of there because he wouldn't stop talking.
Typical Leach. Brady, talk a little bit. We got a text here first on the Titan Mark text line from Ted. He wants to know what kind of offense will y'all run at Belhaven? We're
11 and 12 personnel. I would love to be 10 air raid, balanced. Our head coach is from the Midwest. So we're going to get in there and, we're going to RPO, which is, what everybody does. We do get under center a little bit. That was kind of new for me. I had to call you, Shane. I can't remember the last time we got under center, but we're going to be balanced, and we've got some principles of air raid in there, but it's not air raid. Air raid's about the way you practice and the way you approach the game, the philosophy. It's not that. It's a good balanced attack. We should throw the football better. I'm coming into a position, Shane, where we were last in the league throwing the football. So if I could just move that needle up a little bit, that would give us a shot to be really good.
Yeah. All right. We got to first of all, before we get to some Spurrier stories, a lot of people may remember Brady was the sideline. He did what Tate does now, the sideline reporter for the Gator Radio Network. Give me something crazy that may have happened while you were roaming the sidelines.
A lot of stuff. I saw John Halapia's thumb come out the backside of his hand. I saw Alex Anzalone arm break in half by the running back at Arkansas. He reached out and it just snapped.
Mm.
Guy's one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen in my life. I would have been crying like a girl, but he was, I saw John Brantley Jr. get knocked out by Alabama. So there was some crazy stuff down there, but, just the memories of those times, the Callaway catch on 4th and 13 from Will Greer, the bomb Felipe threw to beat Tennessee. I mean, the goal line stand in Baton Rouge, that one was special. People ask my favorite. Yeah, that was it, because we got rescheduled and everybody's ripping Jeremy because they thought we should have played the game because of the hurricane. And we went over there and beat them in Baton Rouge, and that was fun. So yeah, there was a lot of great memories. I got to see my son down there on the sideline, Shane, in a Gator uniform. I know that meant a lot to me. And he was there at that Felipe game. Who caught the deep ball? I can't think of it.
That was he played for the
oh man,
for the Broncos.
Yeah, but they show it all the time on Twitter. But he was in that game and the dog pile at the end. But there was, again, I'll tell you, the LSU walking around on the sideline and getting dog cussed by their fans like I was a player. I'm like, look, I'm just a sideline reporter. Why are you yelling at me? I didn't do anything. But it was a lot of good times. We didn't win as much as we hoped. Heck, we hadn't won an SEC in a long time. It's going to be pretty tough, but it was a lot of fun, Shane. A lot of great memories. I miss those guys. I mean, Tate's doing a great job. I know you're doing a great job at working with Mick and Lee and Steve Egan and Jeff Cardozo and the mayor. Those are great times. We had a lot of great road trips.
Yeah. Tyree Cleveland was who called that.
That's it.
Back up to you, Mick.
Oh, you got to play. I thought you were going to lead with the intro with Muschamp yelling at me and Tim Brando. We're up 21-0 on South Carolina at halftime. And I go to Muschamp. I says, your thoughts on the first half, our usual generic question. And he said, we got to overcome the adversity on the field. He was just dog cussing the officials, and he's just getting really mad. He's got that Muschamp anger. And I didn't ask a follow-up question. And Mick goes, no follow-up. I said, didn't feel like there was one necessary. He was so hot. And Tim Brando we were on CBS. And Tim Brando's in the studio, who I knew through Tony Barnhart and the guys doing the shows up there. And he's like, oh, I don't know what coach is hot at Brady Ackerman about, because everybody thought I made him mad. I didn't do anything. I just said, Coach, your thoughts on the first half.
That's funny. Florida Victorious, proud NIL partner of the Florida Gators, joined today to help make Florida victorious. A few more minutes with former Gator Brady Ackerman here on the Titan More Highline, courtesy of Comfort Town. All right, Brady, give me a couple of your favorite Spurrier stories.
Well, the Huey Richardson story.
That's a great story.
Yeah, that was a good story. But it was we were playing Kentucky for the SEC championship in '90. We win. We win the championship. We had struggled up there for many years, as you know, Shane. And so back then we used to have a bin of shoes on the sidelines. That's all we had. It wasn't like they have now. Matter of fact, those might have been the ones that you got them to paint. Remember, we painted them black like third game into the season or something like that. But anyway, Huey comes running off, and he's like a size, I don't know, 13. I have a 12. I need a shoe. And I said, so, because his shoe had ripped open. So I threw him my shoe. He literally puts it on and runs back onto the field, right? This is a first-round draft pick, defensive end. So late in the game, we're up like 45-13. Kyle's in there. Junior's in there at center, Gant. And Coach calls a 38 cutback, handback pass, whatever that play was, where you run right and you go back to the left or something. I didn't even know what to do. I said, what do I do, Kyle? And he said, just go that way. I'll pitch it to you. So I ran up in there, and as soon as I hit the hole, the shoe, I still had the shoe on, opened up, and I just tripped and fell through the hole. And you remember, the next day we're watching film, and Coach, you remember this because he had all of us in there. He goes, look at Grady getting low in the hole there. Look at Grady getting low in the hole. And but I tripped, man. I mean, it opened up like I could have gone for a touchdown against Kentucky, Coach, but Only 4 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he called you Grady.
Oh yeah. Well, he used to say, he goes, I'm gonna call you Grady. And I says, well, you call me whatever you want, as long as I get a seat on the bus. I could care less. And he goes, it just sounds tougher. It sounds tougher than Brady. Grady sounds tougher. So you know how coach is, and it was just great memories, coach. It is what it is. I mean, we can sit here and tell Coach Spurrier stories all day, but I could tell about the time I took him to Marsh Creek. He met him at Marsh Creek, and two of my buddies, he goes, one of them was the cart jockey, and he called him the pro. And he goes, we'll play your buddy there, the pro, and his friend. So we play him 9-hole Nassau, and we win like $2 off of him. So we get to the cart, we pull up. He goes, hey, your guy's going to pay up? They, go over there and get our money. Guys, it's $2 apiece. Coach was going to collect, man. He was going to collect. So
yes, he was. There's no question about it. There's nobody like that man. What do you take? Do you take anything? I mean, obviously you were close with the air raid with Leach and Hal Mummy, but do you take anything when you're coaching from what you learned from Coach Spurrier?
Oh, a lot. I mean, I take it from everywhere I've been, even at Jackson State and some of those guys. But with Coach Spurrier was play with confidence, play with poise, be decisive. And the number one thing, Shane, I tell the quarterbacks already this summer, our job is to throw completions, right?
Yeah. It's the greatest statement of all time right there.
Yeah.
Throw completions.
I have a rule. You will get pulled if you've held the ball more than 2.5 seconds. You didn't throw 2.5 seconds. You didn't throw it to the back on our full field progressions. Now I'm not talking about the quick game and stuff. I'm talking about full field progressions. We want to throw it to the back, and our running back coach goes, "We're always open." I go, "We'll be ready. We're throwing it to them this year because a lot of you got to throw the ball where they're not, and that it's pretty simple. A lot of people want to make this game complicated, and it is in a lot of ways. As you know, quarterback position is the toughest position in sports, but you got to play with poise. You got to throw completions, and you got to be disciplined because you can't let them see you sweat. I'm not into the Twitter candy. I tell these guys when they come to camp, the drills we're going to do are the drills you're going to make you better for football. Yeah. I'm not going to do the Twitter candy. And I got nothing against those guys. Go do what you got to do. Make a living coaching. There's a lot of good quarterback coaches out there and developers in off season. I'm always about letting kids work, get extra work in. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we come to our camp and we do our practices, we do stuff that we're going to help us be successful in the game.
Yeah. Brian's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Melon Law. Brady, how much passing do you plan to do in practice with your QBs? I think Spurrier had quarterbacks throw for an hour a day, I think. Good luck next year. Well, I tell people on this show all the time, I'm a big routes on air guy. And I don't think colleges do enough routes on air. I go watch the Gators play. They do routes on air for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what? We used to do it for like an hour. I tell people this all the time, Brady, and you may remember this or not, but in my entire career at Florida, my 3 years, I never did inside run or whatever they call it nowadays, where you go down, usually you send your backup quarterbacks down there to turn around and hand off 30 or 4 base and power and all that stuff. In today's world, people are so worried about the mesh point and all that stuff, they want their starter down there. I didn't do one snap my entire career of inside run. I'd rather my quarterback be over there throwing routes on air all day.
Yeah, I agree with that. We don't do it quite as much as I would like. But I was only here for the spring for 5 practices. So we're looking forward to seeing how that works out. If you're going to be good throwing the football, you got to practice it. And a lot of people don't want to commit to it for a long period of time. And I also believe in throwing to people and not targets.
Nets. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I just throw to people, throw to the guys, because you're going to get short receivers, tall receivers. So we try to have, if we don't have anybody that can run routes, we at least like to have the injured receivers in a position that can catch the ball. I think we're going to be a balanced team. We're going to run to set up the pass. But I think because of our skill players, and I've been talking and working on, these guys saying, listen, who are our 5 best players? And when we listed them, I said, these 4 guys need to touch the football. And so we can't just go into a game and say we're going to run it 50 times. If our running, we only have 1 running back. So we've got to be balanced. And I think that we'll improve that this year, in throwing the football and a lot more individual periods. I'm going to go down to Baylor next week. Shane, a good friend of mine, Jake Spavital, is the offensive coordinator there. Mason Miller, who was the O-line coach for Leach, who I coached at Valdosta. I mean, I didn't coach him. He played it for us, but he was on the team when I was there. He's also the O-line coach. You look at Baylor did last year offensively. They really turned it around with those 2 guys coming in. air raid, but also able to run the football. And so they're looking forward to seeing what they do. I'm trying to fill up these individual periods.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. Just
When I was
form throw. There,
when
you
I
can
was at
form
Bellevue,
throw during those periods.
when I was at Bellevue, the only individual my receivers got was after practice
Yeah,
with their receiver coach.
yeah. And I think Dallas Baker, and he's still the wide receiver.
He's there too. He's at Baylor. That's right. I don't know.
He's a good dude. Good dude.
He's done a great job in his career. Yeah, I haven't met him in a long time, so he probably doesn't know me or remember me. But yeah, I'll definitely stop in and say hello to him.
Yeah. All right. Before we get you out of here, we got a text here from Johnny. Johnny wants to know, Brady, who are your picks for the U.S. Open and the College World Series?
I'm going to go with Coastal Carolina for the College World Series because they won the Florida region.
Even though we didn't play them.
I know. I don't know. I feel like LSU, whoever wins LSU Arkansas is probably going to win it. But you know what? You got to go with Scheffler. I don't know what McElroy was doing last week or what's in his head the last 2 weeks. You got to feel like DeChambeau is going to be involved. One of those live guys. If Rahm can play better. I would like to see Phil make the cut. Shane, I know he's taken a lot of heat late in his career. I actually watched Live Golf last weekend and watched him make that shot. You need to.
It was the greatest shot I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know how tough that golf course is. I know this one's going to be super tough. So if you don't keep it in the fairway, this got that Bethpage Black feeling from years back. But I like rooting for Scheffler because I'd love to see Jordan Spieth win or somebody like that or Justin Thomas. But I like Scheffler because I think he's a good dude. I think does it the right way. He competes every week, and it just seems like a great guy. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and then Kenny wants to know: do you think the Gators win 8 or more games?
I hope so. I hope they win them all. I know I talked to a couple of coaches in the SEC that think Florida's going to be really good. It's going to be his best team. I told you this last year. I know Lagway's come in there and given them a lot of juice, a lot of energy. But the other quarterback ended up getting drafted. So to me, it was the defense just got better. I think he got more comfortable on that side of the ball. They're going to get Trey Wilson back. You know more about him than I do, but they were fun to watch at the end of last year. Tough schedule again. Got to take care of those boys down south, and we should be fine. But yeah, I'll go with over 8. Shane, I haven't picked over 8 since Napier's been there. But I just root for the Gators to win, and I want to see them win every game. I was real excited about basketball, and baseball's always good. Softball didn't end like we wanted it, Shane, but he's done a tremendous job there, and they'll be in it every year.
Yeah. Brady, good stuff as always. We appreciate your time, and good luck to the Belhaven Blazers.
All right, Shane, come see us. I get your sideline pass.
Sideline pass. I'll do the. Can I do the color analyst for the Belhaven Blazer Network?
Well, I'll tell you, our network's actually pretty good compared to these other D3 networks. They're not too bad, but you just stay there with the Gators, and we'll hopefully catch up.
I'll get updates during our games. Brady, appreciate your time, my friend. Be safe.
Thanks for having me on, Shane.
That's Brady Ackerman. Join us on the Titan & More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office, a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. Again, thanks to Brady and to Buddy Mark for joining us. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll have JC. We'll do our U.S. Open Peachland Dental picks. We'll also have Blake Alderman talking Gator recruiting. And tomorrow also from 4 to 7, Gainesville's premier tequila, Los Landeros Tequila, will be showcased at the Good Pour on Southwest 34th Street from 4 to 7 tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.